Welcome to This is Concrete, a podcast where we speak with the people whose work revolves around concrete and coatings. Let's get to what you came for.
Hello, Chad Gill here. I am the host of the This is Concrete podcast, where I talk with leaders in facilities management, architecture, contracting, and more. Global Polishing Solutions is a sponsor of this podcast. GPS is an industrial, commercial, concrete polishing, floor coating, and floor covering company. GPS is capable of handling intricate projects from warehouses and data centers to designs for retail and commercial spaces. They firmly believe in prioritizing safety, quality, and client contentment while providing durable floor systems. Explore our range of services at globalpolishingsolutions.com today. We are also sponsored by Workforce Recon. Recon is a project tracking software that connects the office to the field. Their app Field Recon is built with a field-first mentality, developed by contractors for contractors. It includes time and asset tracking, messaging, and job documentation, along with scheduling, all in one place. So if you're tired of finding out what happened days later, check us out at workforcerecon.com and see your operations in real time. So joining me today is Mike Murray, president of Mike Murray Concrete Solutions and marketing director of Concrete Care. With over 25 years and 11 Excellence in Concrete awards under his belt, Mike is a true concrete expert. But he doesn't only care about concrete, he's passionate about fighting cancer through Concrete Care, an organization that combines concrete with compassion to make a difference. Mike actively shares his expertise by teaching ACI workshops and conducting sessions in concrete curing. He's fortunate enough to have been mentored by some outstanding leaders in concrete construction, from Ward Dallas, Jeff Coleman, Luke Snell, Dave Sikorsky, I might have gotten that pronunciation wrong, Bob Harris, Rome Montgomery, Alan Spartman, and Bill Geiger, who got him in with into ACI certification. Blessed with an excellent crew, made him always look better than he was, and add to the fact that he loved working with this amazing product of concrete. So I appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate it, Mike. I love what you're doing with Concrete Cares, and plus, I mean, you've been a constant contributor to our industry for a long time. So appreciate you taking time to kind of talk to us a little bit.
Well, thank you, Chad. Appreciate it. So we have some amazing people, men and women in our industry, and it's been a fun 60 years for me, 60 plus years now. So
yeah,
construction. So
coming on along, it's time. Long days and 4 years working in this industry for sure.
Yeah, I've always said for my career in concrete construction, I never had a bad day. There's just some better than others.
Yeah.
We got an amazing product. It's so fun to work with. I mean, when I first saw it, I was hooked, and what we can mold, shape, and then now, especially in one of the trades that you're involved in, polishing concrete, that's taken concrete to a whole new level to put this wonderful shine, dyes, exposing different types of aggregate and glass and different things like that. So it's just amazing to see that some of the young craftsmen that are coming into our business. We still need more. We need to reach out to local communities and get more kids involved in this stuff. It's a great life. It's fun. You spend some time away from your family and things like that, but it's really rewarding, and it's never the same. So,
no, I mean, it's I try to explain to people all the time, working in the trades is one of the most gratifying things you do, and riding around, somebody who grew up working in the trades is probably a little frustrating. I mean, hey kids, look, we did the floors there, we did the walls there, we did this there. And that's what it's like to ride with a contractor. But you do get to look back and say, we did that. That's what we did. It is a great career and a great industry to work in most of the time. But so what got you? What made you become such an integral part of ACI? Like, what was the push for you to go from the regular contractor to being so active in ACI?
Well, my ready-mix supplier, one of my main ready-mix suppliers was Geiger Ready Mix in Kansas City. And Bill Geiger is just an outstanding owner, really committed to quality control. And so it's been well over 25 years ago, he told us about ACI certification. And I thought, what I need this for? I said, shoot, I got good help. I'm doing it. Bill kind of pushed me a little bit. And so I went ahead and ordered an ACI workbook. And I thought, ooh, there is some things in here that's kind of neat to understand, but I don't know whether I could pass a test or not. I said, why can't I just finish the concrete and show you if I can finish the concrete? But anyway, ACI had their thing with a written based test. So I took it and passed. It was a little intimidating. You go into an office with an engineer and a number 2 pencil, and you sit down and start answering questions, which most of us in the trade have just got a high school education, sometimes not even that, maybe a year or 2 of college. I was fortunate enough, I took a couple of years of college after I graduated and after I'd already got in construction, but still studying for a test. If you're not involved in it, if you're not a professor or working behind a desk, you kind of lose your study habits. And so that was, but Bill did that. I ended up being an ACI finisher. I'm still an ACI finisher. At one time, I had 6 certifications. I really fell in love with certifications. Field grade 1, I took that. I took the lab and strike technician. I took the transportation and special inspector. More as an ego thing because I wanted to see if I was good enough to pass it, and I was. And then I took the industrial flat work certification when we came out with that for super flat floors. Took the pervious concrete certification, took the ICRI certification, and enjoyed it. Now I'm down to 2, and that's the decorative flat work certification and the flat work. And not sure I want to. I'm kind of fell into my old trap. I'm not sure I want to study anymore. I'd have to study to pass them again, so I can live with having in my history. So, but it is so certification program's a great thing. We need to do some work on it, and with the workers we have out here, we need them to show their skills on a slab, not on a workbook and a pencil and answering some questions. I mean, that's my humble opinion.
Well, yeah, and I think that as the material changes, the technology, I mean, the equipment, everything about it is changing, pretty fast. And guys have got to be up to speed with it. And there's a lot of placement that's important. There's a lot of ingredients that are so different, and I'm not sure anybody knows or is able to stay on top of all the kind of ancillary impacts. Things like changing the mix, even the constituents in the mix, and how we place it and stuff like that. It's just it is a shifting dynamic, very much so right now. And I mean,
I got to tell a funny story. Yes, we did a lightweight concrete demo not too long ago, and so I said, "Yeah, I'll help you out on it." But when I got on the job site, and the engineer of record told the plant to, we need to soak this aggregate for 72 hours, which is just a rule of thumb. Even if you're using vacuum saturated lightweight, it's a good idea to soak it. Well, they just took some water in a truck and dumped it on there. When they told me that, I thought, this is probably not going to work really well. And that's the one thing, the lightweight aggregate absorbs the paste too. And
oh yeah.
Yeah, we had absolutely no bleed on this. I said, oops, this is really gonna. So it was like a bowl of Jello that never set up. I mean, it was a nightmare. So yeah, so what that is a good thing on the. So that's back to ACI. That's a good thing for some workers, especially your lead foreman, to know some situations like that with aggregate absorption and stuff when you're working out of town, because that's the one thing about this business. We're always going to have problems. We have a very short time to adapt and overcome. We can't go, well, I'm gonna go back to the office and sit down, and then we'll work on it tomorrow and we'll get it figured out. You got sunlight, you got wind, you got rain, you got snow. Sometimes you got hail. So you need to be prepared for all those things.
Yeah, it's not for the the lighthearted. You got to be smart and active and tough. It's a it's a lot without a doubt. But what happened to move you into the concrete cares category?
Originally, we started Concrete Cares about 12 years ago. And by accident, we had some white concrete countertops one Friday evening. And was having a drink and somebody spilled a glass of white Zinfandel on the countertop. And I said, you know what we'd ought to do? At the time, I was selling a lot of color for concrete, and we always have problems with red because it turns pink. Now, that's another subject, because I could tell you we always made our red color stay red. But I said, we ought to just take and start making pink concrete for breast cancer awareness. Really what we wanted to do with Concrete Cares. But then we found out that what our goal was to find different states and move into different states, and then go into a hospital like St. Jude's or Hope Lodges, or just some cancer facilities, and do a lot of volunteer curb appeal. And we did a few projects like that. And then the question came up, suppose somebody gets hurt, or if there's an accident, who's responsible for that? And we were doing everything volunteer. We looked, and it wasn't going to be frugal with sponsors' money to have 45% of an insurance premium going to do a job.
Right.
So take some steps back, and a friend of mine, you probably know Jeremy Montgomery in Nebraska. He said, you're probably trying to do things too big, Mike. He said, try and do events and stuff like that. And a perfect example is what Concrete Cares in Nebraska's done. They have car shows, they have golf tournaments. And that's one of the things we still want to work on with Concrete Cares, to get more states actively involved. And that's probably where I'll focus on more, on Kansas and Arkansas with some friends here, as opposed Concrete Cares to still go to Worlds of Concrete. And Worlds of Concrete, we use that as an avenue to help children with cancer. And the money we raise at Worlds of Concrete would go to help families impacted by childhood cancer.
Yeah, that's a tough way to be.
So we had a group out that we'd gave a lot of money to, called the Candlelighters in Las Vegas, because we felt it was important to give back to the community. Yeah. You met Rick Lodell, haven't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So Rick's actually the one that when I think Rick was with me when I got inducted into the Decorative Concrete Hall of Fame. And so I put Rick on the spot and said, this is our first year at Worlds of Concrete. I don't know what to do. I said, why don't you help me figure something out? And he said, okay. And that was, I don't know whether you saw the giant bunny that he made that year, but he made a 6-foot concrete bunny that we had out in the parking lot. And I think we raised about $10,000 that first year. We made lightweight concrete necklaces and passed the necklaces out, and had some shirts that we gave out, things like that. And that kind of was some Worlds of Concrete. And then we just decided that we'd start off the year with raising a certain amount of money, and then that money from Concrete Cares would go to help families impacted by childhood cancer. And it's nothing worse than seeing a child. See some of the families that one of my concrete suppliers, Midwest Concrete Materials, told me a few years ago about a young girl in Overland Park, Kansas, Nora Travis, was 4 months old and had cancer. And she was born on July 22nd. of 2018, and then she passed away on March the 3rd of 2019. And her mother, Lindsay, gave the eulogy, and that was so heartbreaking there. Donna and I have attended too many funerals for kids too, so those are terrible. So that's why we kind of use Worlds of Concrete, and we kind of tell people we'd really like to see more done in, we'll help you get some stuff started in states. And unfortunately, it just hasn't worked out as well as we thought it would. It's kind of like pouring a 20,000 foot slab when you should only be pouring 10. You might have bit off more than you could chew. So, but it's just a problem, and we'll adapt and overcome and keep on fighting cancer the concrete way, which is 1 yard at a time.
There you go. Well, I really want to say I appreciate all that you're doing with it. I think it's a noble cause, and and I think the wins are fantastic and the losses are heartbreaking, but I think it takes a special person to kind of keep driving and pushing through that. And you got a great partner there in me as well. He's definitely a key part in that. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the time and joining us and telling us about it, and certainly wish you luck in it. And we'll put some links in the podcast about it so that people can get in there and find out how they can be a part of what you're doing. It's a great.
And let's remind everybody that watches this podcast to when you go and start your day and stuff, work safe, work hard. My dad taught me it's your responsibility to make a profit for your boss, not to worry about how much money you made, but to make a profit for your boss. And I've tried to incorporate that. But work safe, and be sure you go home after those long, hard days to your family and enjoy your family without any cuts, bruises, and hearing problems and knee problems. Wear your knee pads when you're on a slab. Wear your ear protection when you're sawing concrete. And as much as we hate masks after the last few years, wear a mask if you're sawing concrete, getting dust. So sure appreciate you asking just an old washed up concrete finisher to give me a few minutes of your time, Chad.
Oh man, golly, you can either you can ignore experience or you can listen to it, but when you listen to it, you're way ahead. And I think you've got tons of experience, and it's good to be listening. So,
okay.
Thank you for the time, and hopefully we'll get to check back in with you soon and see how things are growing. And love to hear that that group is getting more and more stakes board and a whole lot more pink concrete.
Well, I'll put a plug in for my granddaughter. She's kind of going to get involved in concrete care. She worked a booth with us last year, and she's a senior in college now in business administration and loving to find something in concrete. And she's also captain of her golf team, her college golf team. So she's a senior this year, playing pretty good. So not as good as me, but she's pretty good. So
business degree and a good golf game can go a long ways.
Yeah. So yeah, she Gilson wanted her to come to work last year, but she didn't want to. She wanted to stay in Kansas, so she started playing golf when she was 4 years old, and she works at her local golf course in Spring Hill, Kansas, and that might be where she ends up in business administration. The company that owns it likes her, so
that's funny. Well, that's fantastic. Well, sir, you have a great weekend, and we'll catch
okay.
up.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Keep pouring concrete, guys. It's a wonderful, wonderful life.
Thanks for listening to This is Concrete. We look forward to you joining us next time. Be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.